You know, but I'm optimistic. I love it here. I have no plans of ever leaving the state of West Virginia or McDowell County for that matter, unless it absolutely was no other option. You know, it's not going to be little New York like it was in the 50s, but, you know, people come in here and see the, you know, the potential, you know, because hearing the old stories, you know, of what it used to be, and all these empty buildings that with a little TLC could be turned into something, you know. But I'm optimistic, you know. I know the coal industry is not going to be around forever, and you know, I've talked to a few people, you know, years, you know, from the past that's been around, you know, that all these large coal companies came around years and years ago and just gutted the place, you know, and they never really did, you know, they made all this money, millions and millions, but never did put much back in here, you know what I mean? It's like they took the resources, the money was gone, you know, that's the way I look at it.
Tell me a little bit.
Well, when I was little, I remember downtown Welch being referred to as Little New York. Like, if my mama was taking us to town, which is what it was referred to, if you were going to town to go shopping or get a pair of shoes, you left at 7 o'clock in the morning just so you could get a parking place. You know, I mean, you left early. You had to get into Welch and get a parking place so you could go shop. Sears, JCPenney, everything was downtown. Movie theaters, just everything. Several banks, several hospitals, several schools. It was a big metropolis. Huge, beautiful metropolis. But
So, yeah, I saw that when I came in, and I saw those buildings, and I saw that, and you know, all vacant now.
and you're seeing a lot that are gone now. They're simply just gone, altogether gone. And one of the biggest things that I see is like this area in particular, Gary. So West Virginia makes, we all know that it's the best coal in the world. It burns the hottest, and it's responsible for skyscrapers.
Yeah. I think, didn't they kind of create this town?
Yeah, well,
Or
it's
some other places?
my wife's grandfather was a superintendent of U.S. Steel in this area for a long time. And they had operations in Gary, all over Gary, all the way down next in Wyoming County, close to Pineville. And you know, we've got pictures and video from, I guess that was in, I can't remember the year, but when JFK came here, you know, we got pictures of her grandfather with JFK, you know, when he was superintendent of U.S. Steel and everything. It's pretty cool, man. But U.S. Steel had a big impact here. That's who my dad worked for. That's who my wife's father works for now, you know. A lot of people in this area worked for U.S. Steel when it was, that's what it was called then, you know, it's called Seneca Coal now, but when U.S. Steel was here, that's pretty much who everybody worked for, because they had the whole county, it seemed like, on
That's when
lockdown.
the buildings were full and the streets were
Oh,
crowded.
absolutely, absolutely, yep. You do look at some of these people that, you know, like my dad, for instance, he had 30, 31, 32 years in the coal mines, you know. That's all he ever knew, all his life, you know, coal mining. But, you know, he learned a lot of stuff as a coal miner. He can weld, you know, he's a great mechanic, you know, and he knows his way around with electricity, you know, he can do electrical work and stuff, you know. But, you know, you take people like him, you know, and try to put him in something completely out of his element, you know, may be tough for him to be retrained in something else, you know, when he spent so many years in that hole doing the same thing every single day, you know. But I can sit here and say that he doesn't regret 1 second of it, you know. He loved it. So many stories growing up, hearing him talking about this and that, you know, it was cool.